Vectorman was kind of like Sega's last-ditch attempt to make a new platform hero for the Mega Drive. The story, what there is of it, is surprisingly close to WALL-E. Earth has gone to hell, so the humans have departed and left robots to clean up the mess. However, in this version of the story, one robot goes evil, so it's up to a good robot to save the day. That's you. The render graphics are nice. Someone obviously paid attention to Donkey Kong Country's sales. Have a look at these flags, how cool do they look? Even though the graphics are rendered in 3D though, they don't really have much personality. Even the main character is nothing more than a few spheres mashed together into a semi-human shape. They did do a great job on the music though, it's really cool. In a futuristic doof-doof kind of way. As for the gameplay, it's a fairly standard and slightly repetitive platform shooter. You run, you jump, you shoot stuff. Sometimes you get a power-up that'll change your attack for a limited time, but it's mostly just run, jump, shoot. I soon discovered that this is one of those games where you face a challenge and you think, oh man, this is pretty tricky, and then you figure out a way to do it without taking much damage, and then you say, oh, that wasn't really that hard after all. As I was playing it, I was thinking to myself, this is probably the kind of game that would be great for speedruns. And I was right. Looking on YouTube, I found some 13 and 11 minute runs through the entire game. Manic stuff. So yeah, Vectorman is a perfectly competent platform shooter. Does it deserve to sit amongst Mega Man X and the other classics of the genre? No. But it's not bad. I prefer this over Super Turrican. And the final Mega Drive game for this year is Phantasy Star 4. Since Phantasy Star is such a renowned series for Sega, I couldn't do a year of retro gaming without playing one of them. It's so refreshing to have an RPG with a setting other than swords and sorcery. In this sci-fi story, you start as an eager young apprentice hunter called Chaz, who dreams of being able to travel to another planet. He's accompanied by his gruff superior Alice, and they meet more people of many different races and species as their journey continues. The story and dialogue are told through nice-looking anime panels. I could imagine this being a fully fledged movie. I was a bit worried about not understanding the story, having not played the previous games, but apparently the Phantasy Star games are all fairly self-contained. This one's set in the same galaxy as Phantasy Star 2 was, but it's 1,000 years later, so I don't think I'm missing too much. The battle system is a standard turn-based RPG, but it's a good one. After Earthbound, it's so nice to be able to see the main characters actually doing their attacks. And I also like the way that everything moves really quickly. Even though the game's filled with random encounters, they just whoosh by before you even begin to notice them. Good stuff. Although I've got to say, I've been constantly baffled by the ridiculously cryptic spell names. I soon figured out that res meant restore and anti means antidote, but what would you say that rimit, rimpa, gires or vol mean? It's just bizarre. I basically just had to experiment and make myself a list to refer to. Surely fire or lightning would have been easier. You can set up macros for your party in this game, so the characters will just do a particular move automatically without you having to manually select it from the menu every turn. I really like this. I suppose you could say it's a bit like a precursor to Final Fantasy XII's Gambit system. You set it up and then just tell them to go. The game isn't perfect though. Like Luna, the shopping and equipping menus aren't as user-friendly as they should be, and there's no way to see how an item is going to alter your stats until you've bought it and equipped it. Frustrating. But as long as you can forgive that, the story is really very good for a 16-bit game and the characters have a lot of personality. It's definitely a story that kept me engaged. Even though it was released right at the end of the Mega Drive's lifespan, Phantasy Star 4 is a really great RPG, and for the Sega fans who never owned a Super Nintendo, they could rest easy knowing that there was a really good Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest type game on their system. I haven't played the other games in the series, so I can't comment on how this compares to them, but this one is top notch, by far and away the best RPG I've played on the Mega Drive, and it definitely stands the test of time. So that's the last of the Mega Drive games for this year. While I've no doubt that the machine wasn't a substitute for the Super Nintendo, there were just too many amazing exclusives. The Mega Drive certainly had its fair share of excellent software. The shining stars, of course, were the Sonic the Hedgehog games, all 5 of which were brilliant in their own right. But perhaps, in the Western world anyway, the Mega Drive, or Genesis, will go down in history as the first console to offer the industry some real competition. Well done, Sega. It's a shame you had to drop out of the console race, but you shan't be forgotten. Next week, that crazy cartoon worm gets his own sequel, and Square releases a different secret. Made in America. We'll see. Peace out.